This is Garvin Moyne doing the state machine video for Brian Hunter's lab. As this is the diagram we were given at the start. This is indicating all states and where they can lead to. Our default state is state A, as shown with the mouse, with an output of 0, 1, 0. So what happens is whenever our input is put in and we go for a clock cycle, it will change the state. So if we're currently on state A and we have an input of 0, we will move down to state F, and that will give us an output of 1, 1, 0. If we are on state A and we got an input of 1, that'll move us to state D, and that gives us an output of 0, 0, 1. So depending on our current state and our input, that is going to determine where our next state will be. Each one of these states will move to a new state except for state F. Whenever state F has an input of a 1 or a high, it will actually stay within its own state until it is moved to a low state. So we were given this diagram, and from the diagram I was able to build a Boolean table from that, getting all possibilities with the letters. So state A, whenever you get a 0, brings it down to state F. What I did then was I took each letter and put them into a binary state, so A being 0, 0, so on, so on. From that, I was able to build a Boolean expression for D1 and D0, and this can be seen on the left here on the Prometheus file. This is the Boolean outputs of each one of them. So I built this circuit from that there with and or gates and a few inverters and 2 D-type flip-flops. These flip-flops are feeding back into themselves. So this flip-flop is feeding back into Q1, and the second flip-flop then is feeding back into Q0. So the way this is working now, currently we're on state A. So if I run the simulation, we're in state A. I've replaced the toggle with a push to make, or just a toggle state, so we can go for it slowly instead of going through the cycle. So with an input of 0, if we're on state A, we should move down to state F, and the audio, or not the audio, the output will be 1, 1, 0 as shown. So now we are currently on state F. So this is showing our current state. This is our inputs. So if we're on state F and we move to with an input of state 0, when we toggle that, we should go to state E, which is a 1, 0, 1, which is what we were given. And if we have a 0 on state E, we should move back to state A, which is 0, 1, 0, and it's the same here. The only one that is going to stay the same is F. So if we move with a 0 now, we'll move down to state F, which is the 1, 1, 0. And if we move our input to an audio or an input of 1, whenever we toggle this, we will actually stay within state F, which is done here, pressing this multiple times. So we're staying that, and that will stay like that until we move our input to a state 0, and that will move us out of state F into state E, as shown 1, 0, 1.